to come back into
Yes.
council if they deserve a commission.
My democratic right to stand as a council.
Maybe so, but you haven't got a democratic right to put all these disabled people down and say
I
they
have
should have
never
their
said
right.
that.
It's a responsibility.
We have you saying it.
Now, as for you being so ill that you couldn't make all the protests and this, that and the other, we know that's not true. You've been away on holiday. What
I
have
was on
you?
holiday and I'm still at this moment on medication, and I've
So are a lot of
been
us.
advised by my doctor that I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, and so are a lot of us on medication, but
Right.
the point is, you should have got the message by now that you really need to stand down. It's not good enough to get re-elected, come in and then say the second comments that you did.
I had a
we're all just
private
gonna accept
conversation
it.
with someone on the phone, and it's been taken completely out of context.
Well, your voice is on the recording saying what you did, that we've all
You
heard.
still said it.
So
Why
you still
would
said
you?
it.
Why would you want disabled people put down? I wouldn't have been put down of that. I do a good
wouldn't
lot
want
for the
anyone to
community.
be put down.
Well, why say
say
those
it?
comments?
I was the guy that I spoke to on the phone. I was thinking that he would want to know what people out there generally thought, and that's what I told him. So I thought he would be able to use that in publicity for your charity.
No, that's not acceptable, and it doesn't ring true.
sorry,
Sorry.
How can you represent everybody equally in your ward in Cornwall?
I have for the last 26 years, madam.
Yeah, and you've been generously overpaid for it as well.
Yeah, grossly overpaid to make such vile comments that you have.
The comments you made were pretty
I consider it a
unacceptable.
hobby, not a job, a hobby.
Well, I think it's time that
In that
hobby
case,
has
donate
well
all
and
your
truly come to
expenses
an
to
end.
charities.
I
Every cent, please.
Yeah,
Last
exactly.
£17,000
You
from
have-
last year would be nice.
17, was it?
That's
what
you
they
said.
Saying people
Oh,
that
last year.
Yeah.
But you can't get away with this. You've actually been re-elected and then said something
that you
even
had
more
apologised for as well.
You
I have
apologised for
apologised.
the first comment, yes, but not for the
Not
second.
for what you said
Not
since.
people who you offended.
I had no idea it was being recorded. Not that I minded it being
Well,
recorded.
even John Woods is asking for your resignation. Doesn't that tell you something?
From what?
The leader of the council said that your position was untenable and that you should resign. That is
Exactly.
on camera.
That's what he said on camera
I've
to us.
been elected by my electorate.
Yeah.
And the leader of
What?
the council says your position is
You've
untenable.
been elected by
So?
300 and something people. You're
400.
being ousted out or wanted out by thousands and
By a whole
thousands, not
county.
just in Cornwall, but all over the
My
world.
electorate is the Weybridge East Division.
Yeah, and we protested through Weybridge on a Saturday, and the amount of people in that town centre that clapped us, cheered us, put their thumbs up, and even joined our protest, that tells you something, surely. It is not acceptable. We feel that you've hurt and upset far too many people. There can be no going back this time. You need to resign and stay resigned. And we will not stop lobbying and protesting until we have got that satisfaction. We will go to Downing Street if we have to, but we will not stop protesting and lobbying until you resign.
People say to me, what have you done? Have you murdered someone?
Well, you might as well have done
frightened
for the
a lot of
comments you
children.
said.
You want all
You've
My
frightened a lot of children
grandson-
and you've lost the respect of the disabled people
My
in your
5-year-old
ward.
son is waking up every night with nightmares saying, is that nasty man going to come and kill my brother because we're disabled? I don't want that for the rest of his life.
Of course.
No, and the only way I'm going to be able to calm him is say, no, that nasty man has now gone, he can't hurt you. But as it is now, day in and day out, that child is suffering, and so are everybody else's child. And I can tell you now, I'm not naming any names, but there is somebody in there that is speaking today who feels exactly the same.
What?
And we will not give up until we have your resignation. We will take it to Downing Street. We are not going to tolerate. Okay? Yes, we understand now that you've lost quite a lot through all this business and what's going on, and I
Just
forgot
leave it.
today, but we are not as I say, happy for you to remain in council, especially after being re-elected and saying those further comments.
And repeating what you said.
It's you on the recording. And
reiterating what other people have said to me.
well, don't you think that you should have enough?
Well, you as a councillor should not be saying that.
Minority.
Well, yes, you're right as a councillor to go round saying, oh, disabled children should be put down at birth. It's most insulting.
And people, give me this bit of paper.
It's the minority of people out there maybe saying that, yes indeed. But I really don't think that it's your place to actually go and say that in a recorded interview then, because it's only your voice that we all hear saying that.
What we want to hear you say,
as if it came from your heart. Now, that is not acceptable. That's all the thousands of people around the world have to go on, is hearing you, like our disabled
and
children,
it has gone over the world too.
deformed lambs that should have their heads banged against the wall. Now that has gone out all over the world. There is thousands and thousands of children now crying, having nightmares, same as my son, frightened that they're going to be killed off, and I give up now.
Do you remember a few years ago the England football manager made similar comments?
Yes.
And there was a tremendous aftermath to that, and he never ever worked again as a football manager because of the pressure he had. Well, surely you can take something from that.
If you'd said a racist comment or anything on that interview, you would have been able to be sacked. You would have been in jail, exactly.
Yeah.
But because it's this, and because the law unfortunately changed last year, they're not able to sack you. But that's what we're going to do next. We're going to down the street. We're going to get that law changed back so that yes, they can sack you. Because we know that there are a great deal of councillors not willing to even work with you now because of it. Doesn't that say to you, look, I've hurt so many people, I've angered, I've upset so many people. The best thing I could do to make amends is give up on council, resign peacefully, and go. Find another hobby if need be. You've already lost a lot, and you're likely to lose a lot more because this will.
I'm sorry, but
continue.
running the county in which I live is not a hobby.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be a hobby.
There's another aspect to this as well. This lady has given birth to 2 children, right?
Yes.
Now, what would, if she'd been got rid of at birth, like the lambs, then her children wouldn't be alive now.
Yeah.
I say that all life is sacred to me. I don't even put down
We got that.
slug pellets. I've never caught a fish. All life is precious to me.
But you shouldn't be repeating what other people say to you.
Someone said to
Why
me,
repeat what they said to you if you knew that was
because
wrong?
I thought I was helping your cause.
But it's
No,
not.
but
It's
you-
done the
If I did-
opposite. It's done the opposite
Who was the
effect.
person that actually came out with these words?
Well, it was a farm worker.
Who happens to be a friend of yours, as
Well, no,
far as we know.
You're
I
taking
know.
the flak for them then, aren't you?
Yeah.
But also a doctor.
So are you happy to
Yeah,
take
but
all this
doctors-
flack because of those 2 people?
But doctors are under the care of conduct
Well, I
code.
wanna know who this
They-
doctor
they
is,
They're
because
not
it-
allowed to
life.
say things like that.
They save lives, not destroy lives.
Exactly.
The best thing that could happen now is like we're asking, and you just resign peacefully, go and enjoy retirement, do whatever. But this will not stop haunting you, chasing you, wherever you may go. We are going to keep lobbying until you resign. I'm sorry if you don't like that, but we have only got your words on the recording, you saying those
And
things.
we're the ones who've listened
So in
to
our
it as well.
mind, it is you that said those words. Now originally, way back 11, 12 months ago, yes, you made a comment saying
Nearly 2 years ago.
disabled children
It was
were
nearly
burdened.
2 years ago.
It should be
But
put
then a
down.
more recent one, wasn't it, about
But
the
the
land?
fact is, he said that, okay, nearly 2 years ago. That wasn't a farmer friend saying that. That wasn't
That
a
was
doctor
you.
friend saying that. That was you.
The lady annoyed me, and I never should have said it. It was
No,
just
you
a-
never should have said it. But now, as talking to you here now, right? In all honesty, we have had so many contradictions from you on that one initial first comment because we have had, I said it as a joke and I apologise for it.
The wind-up.
Listen, I said it because my mind wasn't altogether there because I'd had strokes. And now, right this moment, we are getting, because somebody annoyed me.
But neither here nor there, a person of your standing shouldn't publicly make a comment like that, because you should be aware of the consequences it would have.
Well, in fact, as someone who's actually stood on exhibition, and I've been abused, I've had people spat at me, they poured beer over me, and I would have never ever turned my back on anyone. Yet that lady, I couldn't apologise, she turned her back and walked away.
But you should know better to have said it. She was probably extremely upset.
Anyone would be.
The fact
with
you
a
had beer
disabled
poured
child
over
in
you,
their
surely
family.
that is an awful thing to say.
If you had a disabled child, say your daughter was disabled, you wouldn't have said it, would you?
Oh, didn't I? Okay. That's where I'm coming from. I've never been involved with the health sector at all. I'm planning in the environment.
Right, and if your daughter was disabled, you wouldn't have said that even in anger, would you? Because it would have been at the back of your mind, I've got a disabled daughter, so I can't say that. So why say it just because you have a healthy child?
Mr.
And
Brewer,
you're angered? It does
how
not
can
add
we,
up, I'm sorry.
when somebody wants to build or to improve facilities for disabled, or to have a daycare centre, or to improve educational facilities in Cornwall or within your ward, how can we know that you're going to represent that fairly and equally?
I always have.
But we don't know that after the comments we heard.
We hear what you're saying, but because of what you've said,
both sides and come to my conclusion.
because of what you've said, we can't actually feel that. And we're a small group here, but there are a lot more of us. A lot more that just couldn't make it. Work commitments, looking after the
Child
children.
commitments.
Obviously, you feel threatened by the group, otherwise you wouldn't have arrived flanked by police officers
I
today.
didn't even know anything about it. The police rang me.
Right.
Yes,
and told me that you were going to be here, and they asked to accompany me here. So I wasn't
you
afraid.
obviously may have felt threatened, otherwise you would have said to them, no, I'll be fine, I can handle it. I've done nothing wrong.
Well,
But you have done something wrong.
they asked to accompany me. They didn't quite know how you would react.
Well, we're all very upset and very angry, and we just want your resignation. And the only way you can make it up to any of those thousands around the world now is to resign. And maybe, how about ploughing those expenses and earnings that you probably have earned since being re-elected? We've worked out that you should have earned about 1,200, and all those 17,000 maybe from last year's expenses. How about you make it up to all these children by doing the right thing and resigning now and supporting a little boy called Joshua Wills?
How about you meet some of us, maybe at a future date, maybe come and meet
Come and meet
disabled
us all.
I
children.
have.
Yes,
Could you do it in our area?
I have done it
Say what you
Penzance.
did.
We'll try it
Which
nearer,
isn't good
do
enough.
it nearer our place, please.
Drop me a line, and I'm quite prepared to do that.
How about you?
Can I go to this meeting?
Can you just hear this out, please? How about you do what we're asking and you support what we're trying to do in getting facilities in Cornwall for a little boy called Joshua Wills that is being kept away from his family because he's got autism. He's having to be placed in Birmingham. We have to go to and fro every week.
That's just what I said in that interview.
He is up there and his family are having to get
set up something saying
set up something to help us get him home with his family.
Well, I agree that homes ought to be in Cornwall.
Yes.
Right.
Locally.
But can't Cornwall have
May I
facilities?
go to the meeting?
Yes, you may, but we would like further conversations with
Of
you.
course. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your time.
Right, okay, ring James back. Hi James, I don't know if you heard most of that or not. Yeah, Bethany has recorded it, I hope, haven't you, Bethany?
How do I stop it?
Just press the button again as if you were going to start it.
Somebody rang you called Robin.